Okay, shall we start?
Yep.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. So, welcome to the Virtual VTSO International Convention 2021. And we are Huang and Hong. And as the presentation's moderators, we are delighted to see all of you here today in this presentation. So, during the presentation, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the chat box so that we can gather them for the Q&A session at the end. And we gladly welcome Dr. Lovang Pang in this 30-minute presentation, which is entitled Online Assessment in Higher Education in COVID-19 Era. So a little bit information about our presenter. Dr. Lovang Pang is a senior lecturer at Faculty English for Specific Purposes, University of Foreign Language Studies at the University of Danang. With more than 20 years of experience, Dr. Pang has been working with a diversity of students from secondary school to university level. He obtained a bachelor in 2000 from Taiwan University, a master degree in 2008 in English language teaching and ULIS, and a doctoral degree in 2017 at Flinders University in Australia. His research interests include special need learning, indigenous education English for specific purposes, technology in language teaching, and learning and young learners. Please welcome him.
Thank you very much, Juan, for the for the introduction. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my presentation today. And today I am going to, Today I am going to share with you about my study on online assessment in higher education in COVID-19 era. Danang is situated in the center of Vietnam, has a mission to change the language, skill, and labor force for the central and highland provinces of Vietnam. Danang is the central hub of the tourist attraction, so that's why it is heavily affected by the pandemic. So as to curb the pandemic, the government of Vietnam has applied many strict policy in the public places, such as social distancing, quarantine process, and embracing hygiene and sanitation. A large number of schools, colleges, university workload so as to control the disease. Learning and teaching online is the only option which is available for school to choose. Conducted the research was conducted at Faculty of English for Specific Purposes, University of Foreign Language Studies, the University of Danang, with 20 lecturers on their experiences in online testing at 6 schools during the COVID time. Through research, I can see that each school has their own way of dealing with the issue, but teaching and learning have been turned into online mode. Not only teaching, testing, and assessment have been carried out by the online methods so as to prevent the spreading of the disease as well as to protect the student and teachers' health. Online exams have caused many difficulties for both teacher and student as they are quite different from paper ones, which are familiar with both learner and lecturers. Online assessment also has some drawbacks such as interoperability, validity, testing security, and technical skills. During the COVID-19 time, the most popular type of e-exam are multiple choice, sequencing, matching, true or false, fill in blank, and identification. The qualitative research is shaped and formed by the new culture theory, which designed by Louis Tinochar. The theory affirmed that ICT mediation is the cornerstone of online assessment, and it is constructed by fundamental collaboration, multiple perspectives, and learner as the center of process. According to this theory, assessment should be looked at different perspectives, and it needs the cooperation between teacher and learners. In this study, data was collected using semi-structured interview. Multiple interview was held with each lecturer via channel application. The interview was carried out in the form of informal conversation among colleagues at the same workplace. And the research is trying to answer the question how lecturers experience themselves with online examination at University of Foreign Language Studies. So as to have a participant for his study, the researcher chose 20 teachers as his participant, including 5 males and 15 females. 6 of them have doctorate degree and 14 master who have at least 5 years of teaching. All participants was volunteer and they had to sign a consent before taking part in this study. Participants were informed that they could stop and leave the study whenever they want. The data analysis, the interview was with teacher were transcribed and separated. A separate cases study were constructed via triangulating data from the interviews. Member checking and peer debriefing was used to check the validity and credibility of the result. And now let's moving on to results and discussion. I prefer assessment method. Nga said that I think exams are beneficial to students. They become more active and responsible in their work. When I give them any task to work on, they tend to finish it before the deadline and with better quality. Many of them show their creativity and imagination in wonderful ways. And they seem to choose the essay, a written assignment, or project, open-ended essay question, online test, or exam presentation as a test for their student. And prefer assessment platform including Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Moodle. They choose the platform for the following reason: because they are friendly to the user and it can give high quality of image. And students can be motivated in their exams. And the teacher can plan the examination beforehand. And also teacher can manage the time effectively. And they are also helpful in student evaluation and management of student performance in their work. And online assessment also have some challenges. There are some teachers' idea. I find online assessment is very challenging as I was not prepared or trained at university. Now, COVID-19 outbreak, and we are passive in this situation. We cannot stop time and the student need to finish their course, so we have to adapt online assessment. My students are very tricky. They did not turn on their camera when I required. They said their camera has problem. I could do nothing with that, even I knew they were telling lie. When I marked their work, I knew that they had someone to do it, but I couldn't do anything because I had no evidence. And through the data collection, I can say that online challenges, including technical and internet interruption, lack of technical support, hard to detect cheating, increased workload for teachers, time consuming, and lack of interaction. And now, suggestion for online assessment improvement. So actually reduce the cheating opportunity, lecturer and university should design the task like time or open book test and shuffle randomized test question, plagiarism detection software, and frequent low-tech tasks such as short quiz and self-check activity, and performance assessment, coordinated tasks, and proctoring. So as to reduce technology burden, regular educational technical training for both teacher and students, and also need more technicians are needed for each faculty or each school. And so as to have more student to student interaction, teachers should design some work like peer review or group process, and also perform assessment so as to reduce the burden for the teachers workload. We can design something like we can use the software which is free low code or free hardware and software, and also free web conferencing services. And also we need to make the test to be more visual rich and interaction material like drag and drop activity, image based activity, and audio based activity. And we come to conclusion. The current study examines the experience of lecturer at University of Foreign Language Study, the University of Danang during the COVID-19 time. This study found that participants mostly use tools and environments which are available in the market, such as Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and Moodle instead of developing one for themselves. There are a number of difficulties have been unfair in online examination conducting at 6 institutions. The biggest one identified by teacher is technical issues such as communication disconnection, internet interruption, and technical problems from the students' side. Online assessment does not get enough just from the lecturers. This study has a number of limitations due to the time constraint and lockdown of the country. It was carried out with a small number of participants. It could be much more reliable and reflect the reality if the number of participants was bigger. In addition, the interview was the intersection one. The author knew that the program interview would be much better. Okay, and here's reference, and now time for Q&A. Thank you very much for the attention. If you have any question, please raise for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your great presentation. So now we're happy to receive any questions that you may have.
So it seemed to me that online assessment is a great concern for many language teachers and practitioners. And in our study, you mentioned some problems related to online assessment. And one of those is students may do some cheating in the exams, right? So how do you come up with any solution to that problem, Dr. Pang?
Yep. As I have mentioned before, so as to improve or reduce the cheating opportunity, we should design our test like the time one or open book test or several randomized test question, right? Or you can use like a parallelism detection software, right? And like Turnitin. If you are required a student to make any assignment, you just put the book on the student's work on the Turnitin software, and it will detect which part of their work copy from other people's work. And also frequent low test, frequent low stake test, such as short quiz or self-check activity and performance assessment, something like that. Okay, thank you, Hồng Nguyễn. That's very wonderful. And it also get much concern of many lecturers. And I guess that every lecturer at university or college level at this time, they have somehow much or less they experience themselves of the online testing assessment challenges and also advantages as well?
Sure, because we have to adapt to the new learning and teaching environment, and online testing and assessment is a big issue that I think need to take a lot of time to come up with many solutions.
You're right.
Thank you, Dr. Pao.
Thank you for the question. And if you don't have any question, I have some question for you guys. As my study, I want to hear from you as well. So do you experience the same with the lecture at the University of Foreign Language Study? Or do you have any typical challenges to share? Or do you have any suggestion for situation improvement?
Thank you for the question. So we would like to hear some ideas from the participants.
I know that every institution, every school, they have their own, or they have their very typical difficulty, because each school, they have their own platform to carry out their online assessment. So I really want to hear from your experience to improve or to enrich my study on this field to share with other guys, as a researcher, as a scholars. So Ms. Hong, do you have any experience in online teaching? Can you share with me and with other scholars?
Yeah, actually, I'm totally agree with what you have found out in that study, because I think online teaching learning is a big issue now, and it's raised concern of many language teachers and practitioners, and I also experience the problem, like you mentioned in the study. And one of the biggest problem from my university is students always complain about the network connection.
Yeah, you're right.
And because of this problem, they cannot access the university system very smoothly. They cannot access the slides, the videos on the system very well, and that's why they cannot perform well in their homework, in their exercise, in their assignment, and that's why assessment on their work, assessment on their assignment is not accurate to some extent. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the wonderful sharing. And the platform as well. If a school they have a big fund, they can equip for their school a very good one. But if they use the free one, it is not reliable at all. When the number of students, because the number of students in each university, it often very big. So if the free one, they can't take the exam at the same time. So the school have to divide the number of students into many different sections and make many inconvenience for both teacher and students.
Exactly. So the same in my university. We usually have to divide into many different sections when we want to give the test to our students.
That's why it increased the burden for the lecturer and for the school staff as well.
Absolutely.
And in my school, some sessions have to be carried out at the night session.
Right.
Thank you, Ms. Hong. And Huang, do you have any experience to share? I think as when you were at university or something like that.
Well, actually, my mom works in Tech University, and like when there is a test or an exam in the university, my mom usually have to watch it using Google Meet and Google Classroom. And I think it's something similar like this. Like the students will do their test, and my mom will sit there and watch them. But I don't think that can prevent them from cheating or anything. It's not that effective. Like they can simply use a mobile phone or another device. They put it next to the screen or next to the webcam, and they look up the answer in it. I think it's really easy for them to cheat.
Yeah, as student very tricky, and then they may turn their camera in to the different angle, so we can't see what they are doing on the other angle of the camera, which I mean that's the blind angle. We can't see that.
Yeah, and I saw on the net on Facebook, I think about a few months ago, one of my students in Bacqua University, he took a picture of him doing his test, and the university required their students to have two cameras, one in the front and one a little bit away from them, so that they can get the whole view to see what the students are doing during the test. I think it's a really good way, but it's not affordable for everyone because like you can't expect everyone to afford to have two cameras like that.
My school also did the same. It is a product exam. Means that they can see everyone via camera, every student, and we have a very big room at school, and we require all the students turn on camera. But some of them in the middle of the exam, they said that, oh, there's some problem with my camera, with my laptop, and it's gone. So we could do anything, right? Just accept that.
Okay. So because of the limited time, we cannot include all of the questions in the Q&A session. So our participants, if you have any other questions, you can email the presenters directly. And I think our session can end here. On behalf of the VAC 2021, we wish you all the best. Thank you for participating.
Thank you for moderator, and thank you for participant. Thank you for attention, and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
You too. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.